Pumpkins are not only delicious to eat, but also fun to grow, whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out. In this video, we'll guide you through the process of planting pumpkin seeds step by step, ensuring you have all the information you need to grow healthy and thriving pumpkin plants. From selecting the right seeds to caring for your seedlings until harvest, we've got you covered. When selecting pumpkin seeds, it's essential to choose varieties that suit your growing conditions and preferences. Consider factors such as the size of your garden or growing space, the climate in your region, and whether you plan to use the pumpkins for cooking, carving, or decoration. There are numerous pumpkin varieties available, each with its unique characteristics in terms of size, color, flavor, and maturity time. Pumpkins come in a diverse array of varieties, catering to different preferences and purposes in the garden and kitchen. Here are some common types. Jack-o'-lantern pumpkins are perhaps the most recognizable type, known for their large size, bright orange color, and relatively smooth, round shape. They are commonly used for carving during Halloween due to their size and sturdy flesh. Pie pumpkins, also known as sugar pumpkins or baking pumpkins, these varieties are smaller in size compared to jack-o'-lanterns, typically ranging from 4 to 8 pounds. They have a sweeter, denser flesh that is perfect for making pies, soups, and other culinary delights. Heirloom pumpkins varieties encompass a wide range of shapes, colors, and flavors, often with unique names and histories. They are prized by gardeners and chefs alike for their rich, complex flavors and attractive appearances. Examples include the Rouge Vif de Tempe, a French heirloom known for its deep red color and flattened shape, and the Blue Hubbard, which has a bluish-gray skin and sweet, nutty flavor. Miniature pumpkins are petite pumpkins, also known as mini or ornamental pumpkins, are typically less than 6 inches in diameter and come in various colors, including orange, white, and striped. While they may not be suitable for carving or cooking, they are often used for decorative purposes, such as table centerpieces or fall displays. On the opposite end of the spectrum are giant pumpkins, which can weigh hundreds of pounds and are often grown competitively for their impressive size. While not ideal for culinary purposes due to their fibrous texture and less flavorful flesh, they make a striking addition to fall festivals and events. Before purchasing seeds, check the seed packet or catalog for information on the pumpkin's growth habits, maturity time, and recommended growing conditions. Look for varieties that are well suited to your climate and have a good reputation for producing healthy, robust plants and delicious fruit. By carefully selecting the right pumpkin seeds for your garden, you'll set yourself up for success and ensure a bountiful harvest of pumpkins that meet your needs and preferences. Before planting pumpkin seeds, it's crucial to prepare the planting site to provide optimal growing conditions for the seeds and young plants. Start by selecting a location that receives plenty of sunlight, as pumpkins thrive in full sun. Ideally, choose a spot with well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter and has a pH between 6.0 and 7.5. To have pumpkins ready by fall, it's essential to plant them at the right time to ensure they have enough time to grow and mature before the cooler weather sets in. In most regions, the best time to plant pumpkins is in late spring or early summer, after the last frost date has passed and the soil has warmed up. Specifically, aim to plant pumpkins outdoors when the soil temperature reaches around 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius or higher, which typically occurs a few weeks after the last frost date. This usually translates to planting pumpkins in late May to early June in many regions. By planting at this time, you give the pumpkins plenty of time to grow and develop over the summer months, typically requiring 75 to 100 frost-free days to reach maturity, depending on the variety. This time frame allows the pumpkins to ripen and be ready for harvest by the fall, usually in September or October, depending on your location and the specific variety you're growing. Keep in mind that pumpkins prefer warm soil and plenty of sunlight, so choose a well-drained, sunny location in your garden for optimal growth. Additionally, be sure to provide adequate spacing between plants to allow for proper airflow and room for the vines to spread. Prepare the soil by loosening it to a depth of about 12 inches, 30 centimeters, using a garden fork or tiller. Remove any weeds, rocks, or debris from the area to create a clean planting bed. Incorporate compost or aged manure into the soil to improve its fertility and structure, ensuring that the pumpkins have access to essential nutrients throughout the growing season. Consider spacing requirements when planning the layout of your pumpkin patch. Pumpkins typically require ample space to spread out and grow, so leave plenty of room between plants. Allow at least 3 to 5 feet, 1 to 1.5 meters, between each hill or planting mound to accommodate the sprawling vines and large leaves of mature pumpkin plants. By properly preparing the planting site, you'll create an ideal environment for your pumpkin seeds to germinate and grow into healthy, productive plants. This proactive approach can help minimize potential issues and maximize the success of your pumpkin harvest. Before planting, consider whether you want to start your pumpkin seeds indoors or sow them directly in the garden. Starting seeds indoors can give you a head start on the growing season, but pumpkins are sensitive to root disturbance, so it's essential to transplant them carefully to avoid damaging the roots. Alternatively, sowing seeds directly in the garden eliminates the need for transplanting but may require extra protection from pests and adverse weather conditions. When planting pumpkin seeds directly in the garden, create small hills or mounds of soil spaced 3 to 5 feet or 1 to 1.5 meters apart. Each hill should be about 12 inches, 30 centimeters, in diameter and enriched with compost or well-rotted manure to provide nutrients and improve drainage. Plant 2 to 3 pumpkin seeds per hill, spacing them evenly and planting them about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters, deep in the soil. Cover the seeds with loose soil and gently pat them down to ensure good seed-to-soil contact. Water the newly planted seeds thoroughly to settle the soil and provide moisture for germination. Keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged during the germination period, which typically takes 7 to 14 days. Once the seedlings emerge and develop their first set of true leaves, thin them to leave the healthiest, strongest plant in each hill. Once your pumpkin seeds have germinated and the seedlings have established, proper care and maintenance are crucial for fostering healthy growth and maximizing yield. Here are some essential tips for caring for your pumpkin plants. Pumpkins require consistent moisture throughout the growing season, especially during flowering and fruit development. Water deeply and evenly, providing about 1 to 2 inches, 2.5 to 5 centimeters of water per week, either through rainfall or irrigation. Avoid overhead watering, as wet foliage can increase the risk of fungal diseases. Pumpkins are heavy feeders and benefit from regular fertilization to support vigorous growth and fruit production. Before planting, amend the soil with well-rotted compost or aged manure to provide essential nutrients. Additionally, apply a balanced fertilizer, such as a October 10th 10 NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium fertilizer, every few weeks throughout the growing season, following the manufacturer's recommendations. Apply a thick layer of organic mulch, such as straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings, around the base of the pumpkin plants to suppress weeds, conserve soil moisture, and regulate soil temperature. Mulching also helps prevent soil-borne diseases and keeps the developing fruits clean and free from contact with the soil. Monitor your pumpkin plants regularly for signs of pests, such as aphids, squash bugs, and cucumber beetles, as well as common diseases like powdery mildew and downy mildew. Remove any affected foliage promptly and consider using organic pest control methods, such as handpicking, neem oil, or insecticidal soap to manage pest infestations. Proper spacing between plants and adequate airflow can also help prevent fungal diseases. Depending on the pumpkin variety and fruit size, you may need to provide support for the developing fruits to prevent them from rotting or breaking off the vine. Large pumpkin varieties or those grown vertically on trellises or fences may require support to prevent the weight of the developing fruits from causing damage to the vines or breaking them off prematurely. Assess the size and weight of the pumpkin fruits and the strength of the vines to determine if support is necessary. Various materials can be used to support pumpkin fruits, including fabric strips, old pantyhose, netting, or even commercially available slings designed for this purpose. The key is to use soft, flexible materials that won't damage the vines or fruits as they grow. If using fabric strips or pantyhose, cut them into lengths long enough to cradle the developing pumpkins. Gently loop the fabric around the pumpkin, leaving enough slack to support its weight as it grows. Tie the ends securely to the trellis, fence, or other support structure. Place the slings or support materials beneath the developing pumpkins while they are still small and easily manageable. Position them in a way that allows the fruits to rest securely without putting pressure on the vines or stems. Adjust the slings as needed as the pumpkins grow larger. Check the pumpkins regularly to ensure that the support materials are still effective and haven't become too tight or restrictive as the fruits expand. Make any necessary adjustments to prevent the slings from cutting into the skin of the pumpkins or causing damage to the vines. In some cases, especially with extremely large pumpkins, additional support may be needed beyond simple slings. Consider using padded cushions or supports placed beneath the developing fruits to distribute their weight more evenly and reduce the risk of damage. By providing proper support for your pumpkin plants, you can help ensure that the developing fruits remain healthy and intact until they are ready for harvest. Harvesting pumpkins at the right time is crucial for optimal flavor, texture, and storage potential. Most pumpkin varieties are ready for harvest when the rind hardens and the color fully develops, typically about 100 days after planting. The stem near the pumpkin should be dry and woody, indicating that the pumpkin is mature and ready to be picked. To harvest pumpkins, use a sharp knife or pruners to cut the stem, leaving about 2-3 inches attached to the fruit. Avoid pulling or twisting the pumpkins off the vine, as this can damage the stem and increase the risk of rot. Once harvested, handle pumpkins with care to prevent bruising or injury to the skin. Store pumpkins in a cool, dry place with good air circulation, such as a basement, garage, or pantry. Avoid storing pumpkins directly on the ground, as this can promote rotting. When storing pumpkins, keep them away from direct sunlight, which can cause them to ripen too quickly and spoil. Check pumpkins regularly for signs of decay, and use any damaged or bruised pumpkins first to prevent spoilage from spreading to other fruits. Properly stored pumpkins can last for several months, allowing you to enjoy your harvest well into the fall and winter months. Consider preserving pumpkins by canning, freezing, or drying them for long-term storage and use in recipes like soups, pies, and baked goods. Planting pumpkin seeds can be a rewarding and enjoyable experience, whether you're a seasoned gardener or trying your hand at gardening for the first time. By following these simple steps, you can ensure successful germination, healthy growth, and a bountiful harvest of delicious pumpkins. Remember to choose a suitable planting location with plenty of sunlight, well-draining soil, and adequate space for vine expansion. Prepare the soil properly, sow the seeds at the correct depth, and provide consistent moisture and care throughout the growing season. Support the growing vines with trellises or other structures to prevent damage and promote optimal fruit development. Monitor for pests and diseases, and take appropriate measures to protect your pumpkin plants as needed. When the pumpkins are ready for harvest, handle them with care and store them properly to prolong their freshness and shelf life. With a little patience and attention to detail, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor in the form of beautiful, flavorful pumpkins for carving, cooking, and decorating.